Hey guys, very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome back to session two. And also to let him know what we did in session one was talking about the external factors which impact compensation. See, ultimately, to put it in simple terms, today compensation is becoming very, very critical. Not only critical, but strategic. And I clearly explained yesterday, and somebody used the word strategic. We say strategy because it has an impact on what? Business objectives. It has an impact on business performance. It has an impact on revenue. So, therefore, the criticality and the strategic nature of compensation. Now, can we change everything in organization? Marketing becomes very, very innovative. Everything we change. But when it comes to, think about it, all of you are tenured HR professionals. But when it comes to HR systems, procedures, function, we are still doing the way we were doing maybe 2 decades ago. When our product is changing, when our services are changing, when our customers needs are changing, everything is changing in this dynamic environment, but we don't change as HR people. HR processes, what we are actually offering to our customers, internal stakeholders, doesn't change. Then how can we expect that they can give business objectives or business results? Are you seeing the link, guys? So therefore, compensation has to change, because why? The talent pool, the workforce have changed. It's become diverse, and the demographics have, because you are competing in different environments, and you have today a workforce which is old, young, all kinds of people. Their needs, aspirations change. So are we actually catering all the, aligning to their needs and aspirations, and changing our compensation systems? Or the same old, okay, going to hire him and I'm going to pay him some money. That's not going to satisfy people. Okay. Yeah. And then we looked at what we looked at some of the key government statutory regulations. Even if you are a global compensation manager, some kind of compliance, some kind of statutory things are going to be there. Okay, even if you're a global compensation manager, you have to design. So the first thing you have to know, hey, what does this country have? What are the statutory compliances? So every time you work on a compensation, first thing you need to really look at that. That is very, very important. Now, I cannot, as I said, cookie cutter approach. We cannot have a same kind of design, same kind of structure for every organization, because the context is different, the challenges are different. In fact, Kishore was mentioning, hey, I'm so, if I can take your example, high attrition, so high attrition, I cannot just use, okay, high attrition, so I'll give him more salary. Probably that is not going to change. So I need to look at, discover, saying, hey, why, what are the reasons for causing, at what level is it happening? So how can I change my compensation, or look beyond as a total reward concept, to ensure that my people remain in the organization, because it is not just money which is going to reduce attrition. Having said that, now today, in fact, we had to do this yesterday. Okay, we are now beginning to, when we talk about compensation philosophy, we are talking about two things. Any organization, all of you are representing certain organization. You will say, hey, I want my compensation to be fair, equitable, and competitive. No? Now, what is fair and equitable? That means I'm paying people fairly, equally. And what is competitive? With reference to the market, hey, where are my competitiveness? Now, I want to I want to ask you all to tell me a story. Not that we're going to only talk about stories, but yes, tell me something like somebody, like some of you are HR heads, or some of you are lead managers. An instant where people came up with you who are not happy with their salary. Okay. What did they tell you? Any instance? Or for example, it could happen to you only, that you are not very happy with your salary. What did you feel about it? Or what did you say to somebody? Anybody? Somebody who came up with you, like Kishore is a manager. So somebody who came up with you said, hey, I'm not happy with my salary because of so and so thing or whatever. Any instant. Or Kutubuddin, hey, I'm not happy with my increment. Anything. Something about the salary. An unhappiness or happiness, whatever. One or two. Let us
Uh,
just look
Ma'am,
We
at.
should check
probably they
for
are.
saleability.
Pardon?
We should check with the saleability. Then we have to approach the.
Anybody who came up with something about the salary and said, hey, yeah, some instance, some kind of an instance, yeah, tell me.
Probably they are comparing themselves with their other friends or other friends who are working in the same field.
So your friend came up and said, hey, they said we are not being paid, huh? I'm being paid lesser than, huh? What
Their
did he
friend
say?
who is working in the same industry or the same, same field.
Lesser than my friend, huh?
Ma'am, it happens with
In
me
the same
many
field,
times
okay? Okay.
when
Yeah.
union approaches and says that the other industry has signed an agreement of 25,000 for 3 years. You,
Mm.
we should at least start our discussion from 25,000, not
Okay.
below that.
So somebody said the union leader, huh, says start discussion, huh,
Yes, from 25,000.
from
Certain amount.
the point where other union, no,
Other industry union has got this agreement,
union in the, other union
has
has
got this.
got it. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
Comparison
Yeah,
from other department also.
Huh?
Many of the staffs come up with the decision. Some other departments are getting a good increment, a good incentive, and why not our department?
Okay. Huh? Comparing with other department. Okay. And um, feeling dissatisfied, right?
Right.
And there is a unique complaints also, not any comparison, but they say that I got a less increment in comparison to my efforts.
yeah.
Less increment in comparison to my effort. Okay. All right. Okay. So, hi Yogesh, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry. So if you can see, now I'll keep this. What are you seeing? Can you see something, some pattern in this? Everybody is comparing. Union is comparing with the other union's negotiation point. Yes, Tapan?
Yes, ma'am.
Their point
Yes,
is they're comparing with other unions. This guy is comparing with his own effort. This guy is comparing with his friend who is in the other company in the same industry, in the market. So what is happening? We are always
comparing.
comparing. Comparing. That is the word. Comparing with what? Just see what I am doing, my effort, my input. And what am I getting? What are they comparing with? Two things. What is that?
Comparing with others, basically.
I
Think
can
this
say,
compensation.
Positions.
can I say this?
Yeah,
Comparing with two things. I'm
yeah.
comparing what am I giving to my job, my time, my experience, my everything. I'm bringing everything. But what am I getting? How much money am I getting? What is the reward I am getting? The monetary, non-monetary. But is it in is it in Absolute terms. You know what is absolute terms? It is not in absolute terms, 70%, 80%. No. It is in what?
Relative terms.
Thank you. I was. It is not in absolute terms. Oh, Hena? I don't know how many of you understand Hindi or something. I'm, you know, I'm happy with what I'm getting, but when I get to know that my neighbor, the wife said, my neighbor, read that guy, they brought TV. Huh? Then I'm so bothered. You're comparing always. But I'm happy otherwise. Till the time I don't know, I'm happy. But when I'm comparing myself to my neighbor, that's the time I have the problem. So what happens when 40% of your workers or 50% of your workers, that means if I say an organization has 500 people and 400 people are unhappy like this. So what does unhappiness bring about on the work situation, on the performance? Will it happen?
Yeah.
Disengagement. Jayesh says, hey, you know, I was supposed to get four ranking out of one rating scale of 1 to 5. And so but they gave me a 3 and they gave me a small increment. So I've been working hard, coming in the morning, going back at night. From now on, मैं तो अपना ही थोड़ा सा काम करूंगा and that's it. So, but you are getting, like yesterday we talked about some fixed salary every month. As for your appointment order, you are getting a guaranteed. So, but he is not proportionately doing work. Performance, he is not performing. So, what is happening to the organization when 80% of your people are dissatisfied, disengaged? What happens to the performance? Wage cost is there, but proportionately you are not getting your ROI on a wage cost, which means that your revenue is down, your profits will be down. Are you thinking that? Because most of the time now my organizations are getting worried. Hey, if compensation, has a huge impact because people will be dissatisfied, disengaged. So that will create what impact on performance. So, so therefore, when we are talking about, there is a very interesting. So this is based on the principle called equity theory. I don't know how many of you read long back in HR. Huh? This is by a famous psychologist and an economist called Adam Smith. Equity theory says that people get motivated. People get motivated. Let me just show you. When they see, I told you, their input, which is all my contribution, is equal to my reward. Is this very clear, guys? My input is equal to reward. But till then, but how will I know my input is equal to reward? How will I know? When I will know this only when I will compare with, when I'm comparing with people. So I might be comparing like this. Are you with me? Say, for example, what I get with what effort I put, if I compare it with either internally with my own or externally, if this is equal, then what happens? It's fair, equitable. That means, hey, my reward vis-a-vis my contribution is equal to the person I'm comparing. So I'm happy. But when this happens, it is less than my comparison, then what happens? Tell me.
Inequity.
Inequity. Unfair. So when there is inequity, obviously Kutubuddin will say, hey, you will ask for a raise. You'll go back and say you want a raise, or you will reduce your contribution, or you may work hard, or you will leave the job and you will also ask for people to leave the job and say, hey, what, yeah, if Kutubuddin, I'm so sorry, is an HR manager, I'll say, see, kya hai? I'll take all my people and go away. 4 people. And it'll happen, no?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'll just show, this is what is really happening. I want to show you very interesting, just see this, just to make things a little more clear. I'm showing a very small, just few seconds video. Just watch it. There are 2 monkeys, okay? The task is to give a rock and they get something in turn, okay? Yeah, it's getting a cucumber. While the other one also has to give a rock, but that one is getting a grape. The other one is now seeing it, but it's still getting a rock and says, hey, but that one is getting grape, but I am getting a cucumber. So can you see the behavior at least? They're mad. Huh? So I'll just see the video and I'll tell you what's happening. Okay. The idea of showing this is, let me just explain to you what you just saw. There were 2 monkeys, right? Now, the task was that they have to give a rock and they would in turn get something. Okay. Now, if you have seen, the first monkey, when it gave a rock, it got a piece of a cucumber. Now, the second monkey, when it gave a rock, the task, it got a grape. It got a plum. Now, the first monkey saw that, got to know it, ignored. But the second time again, the same thing, it got a cucumber and the other one got a grape. Now it said nothing doing. And literally you can see it was shaking, going mad and all that. Now, can you think? Now we say salary is so confidential, guys. But think of people, what happens when you get an increment, or when you feel that somebody else is getting more salary, what happens? You are also going to be like that, literally angry and do that. Now, to give you a little better example, let me give you. Say, for example, I'm using 1 or 2 of your names, sir. Don't mind. Okay. Say, think Yogesh is a recruitment manager. Okay. Recruitment manager. Now, under him, he has Jayesh, who's a assistant recruitment associate or recruitment, who does good work. And he gets 6 lakhs to do this work. He's very good. The relationship between Yogesh and Jayesh is great. He does good work, very good work. And he's now, for 3 months, there is Abhijit, who's been recruited. But he's been recruited in the same position, but at higher salary. Same position, recruitment associate, 8 lakhs. Okay? Till now, Jayesh was doing excellent work. No, Abhijit is also doing, but he is getting 8 lakhs. Now, one day, after 1 week, he says, Yogesh says, hey, Jayesh, we have to go for a recruitment drive, and Jayesh has always been enthusiastic about it. And so let's go, you plan your work and all that. Jayesh says, sir, you have Abhijit now, no? This Saturday and Sunday, I have a very personal engagement. I can't come. Some function, sir. Then after some time, there is some urgent work. You have to stay back. We have to do this. Sir, you have Abhijit. Huh? I can only stay back only up to this time, sir. I can't do. So what is happening? Jayesh, who was really very, top performer, very good at work. Now, why is this reduced his work? You making him an underperformer. Why has he reduced? Why? Why, Yogesh?
Because he's getting less salary for the same effort. In fact,
But
he has
you
been.
feel it's confidential. Nobody will know. What do you think? Huh? It's confidential. Won't he know? Huh?
Yeah.
That's the biggest joke. That's the biggest joke, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, So most of the organizations, so now you understand what is fairness and equitable, huh? That means paying similar salary for same job or same if for the worth of the job. Okay, so therefore, when we say in most of the organizations, let me tell you that organizations, good organizations, make it very transparent. They may not say how much Yogesh is getting, how much Kutubuddin is getting, but they will actually, put it on a whiteboard or on their internet that this grade gets this salary and these grade get this salary. So they make it quite transparent so that I have no issues. If and in this particular grade, Kishore has been recruited, so obviously with the number of years of experience, education, qualification, etc., he will be getting this kind of salary. So then there is some amount of fairness established, transparency is there. So therefore, now because of this, there are three kinds of equity which arise. What are they? One is called internal equity. Have you heard of this word called internal equity? When do we say internal equity? Whenever we are designing a salary, we always say internally fair and equitable and externally competitive. So what does it mean? That when we are paying salaries within the organization has several jobs at different levels. Okay. They have to be paid in such a way that the reward versus outcome should be comparable with the reward versus outcome of another job. That means they should be comparable with the worth of the job. Are you with me, sir? Internal equity. That means internally job. If you notice in most of the old traditional organization, and I have in fact worked and consulted in so many where they won't have any salary structure. They will pay by handshake and say, okay, fine, I've taken you. So after 2 or 3 years or 5 years, when actually scaling takes place, what happens? You will find that, people with the bigger titles, their job content is much lesser and lesser responsibility as in compared to lower jobs, and lower jobs are being paid much lesser, but the effort is much more. So what happens is the titles are varying, but when you look at the work, very, very, very. So typically what happens, that's the time, then they say, oh my God, my people are disengaged, dissatisfied, let's do job evaluation. Now, how do you bring fairness and equitableness in for internal equity? We use a tool or a technique called job evaluation. And in this session, we are only going to do job evaluation. We are going to deal with internal equity. Okay. Then the other equity is called external equity. Now, when I say, hey, my compensation philosophy is to be very competitive, what does it mean? Obviously, you can't hide it. And today, especially, all go to a site, you will know if I'm an HR manager, what is the other guy getting? If I'm a payroll manager, what in a similar job in a similar industry, what is the other person getting? I will compare myself. Your candidate comes prepared with the data. Just like Tapan was saying, unions get prepared with the data. What are other unions paying? Right? So you can't afford to pay less and say, hey, this is what the salary is. Right? That is called external equity. And we will do in our session 3, how do we do benchmarking? What are some of the things we have to keep? What are those analytics, etc. We'll do in the session 3. Again, 2 people. Yesterday I gave that example. See, 2 payroll guys are doing the same job description. But one guy is doing much more than required. Or 2 salespeople, one guy is only achieving 100 units, but Jayesh is achieving 300 units. But salary, I'm going to pay the same salary. Then you are pushing and forcing that Jayesh also to underperform. So what is that you will do? So this is called individual equity. That means through what kind of variable incentive schemes, etc., I will ensure that people stretch themselves, because why should I stretch? if I don't get more? So then you have individual equity through variable pay. So we are going to deal with all this. Okay. And so, guys, today's session will be all about internal equity. Any questions thus far? So then we are getting into today's session, because this was actually yesterday's a little part of it. Any questions thus far before I start off the other our session?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, great. Okay. So when we talk about, so we are going to do job evaluation, point rating, and all that. Okay. When we say job evaluation, does anybody have, all are HR people, so any little understanding of job evaluation? When I say what do you understand by job evaluation? Just the word, because I want to start from where you know. Anybody understand job evaluation?
Basically, it's understanding worth of what is the worth of the particular job.
Okay, you used a word called work. Okay, in an organization there are 10 jobs. So so that means I'm going to evaluate the jobs or the worth of the job. How much should I pay for these jobs? Okay. Now, next question of mine is there difference between job evaluation and job analysis? You have to be very clear, because as HR people, if we are going to do work, we have to be very clear about certain concepts.
Analysis is part of evaluation, right?
Yeah. With the help of analysis, we
Good,
can do the
good,
job
good.
evaluation.
Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah. But so I'll just use this quickly to, because some of the things you have to be very clear. Okay. So so Devi has been right, and some of you have been right. So so let me start with, when I say job analysis, all of you do job analysis. Why do we do job analysis? See, anytime, anything for HR activity, any activity, analysis is a process. You're doing something, right? So there should be some outcome to it. So what will be the outcome of job analysis? Anybody? The outcome of job analysis is what?
What
Job
is their
analysis is the process
R&R,
of,
like roles and
yeah.
responsibilities?
So can you see this one? So when we are doing job analysis, that means, say for example, there is a job, a marketing manager. Okay. Now I'm doing an analysis. What is the job all about? I will use what may be an observation method, a questionnaire method, understand why does the job exist? What is the purpose of this job? What are the roles? What is the responsibility, key responsibilities? What kind of competencies are required, etc. Everything. So I'm doing the analysis. And analysis could be with various methods. For example, I could do observation, I could do questionnaire, I could do an interview, etc. Now, there should be some outcome, no, of job analysis. What is the outcome of job analysis? Job description. Got it? Job description is a document. So what is job description now? Job description is a document which every job should have. Payroll manager. What is the job description of the payroll manager? It will be documented there, everything, saying that the purpose of this payroll manager, he exists because of this. These are the key duties, etc. These are the responsibilities. This is the technology he works on, etc. Very clear? Now, job evaluation, as rightly said, is evaluating the job, which is different from job analysis. Okay. And why do we evaluate the job? To get the worth of the job. Somebody said worth of the job. Why do you want the worth of the job? So that I can
Finalize the salary.
sorry. I can fix, so that I can fix. Yeah. I can fix salary. So that I can. Got it? Now, when I'm doing job evaluation, how will I do the analysis? Evaluation of the job. the first document I need is what? I have to start with
Job description.
JD.
if I don't know the job description, how will I then evaluate the job? I have to understand what is the job doing, what is it. Very, very important. When you are evaluating a job, I'm evaluating the job, the role. I'm not evaluating Jayesh or Tapan who is in that job. Not the person. Very, very clear. Not person. Person may bring in huge competencies, experiences, so I may fix him in little higher salary. That is different. But when here I'm doing a job evaluation of a particular job, then what is it? I'm only taking the position, the job. So please be very, very clear, because a lot of people think, I'm getting evaluated. No, it is, you may be working in that. So I'll be taking interview or I'll ask questions, but it is the job. Very clear, guys? These are fundamentals of job evaluation. Okay. It starts. Say, for example, now Kishore says, ma'am, I've started and I have a lot of challenge I must do. No, he comes and says, oh my God, we have 500 jobs. You may have 10 people in a particular jobs and positions, but I'm talking about jobs. So I have 50 jobs. Now I have no description. Tell me, how much time will you take to do a job description? Quick, all HR people, huh? Devi, I'll tell Devi. If you have to do job descriptions or if you have to give it to someone to do job description, that means your counterpart, team member, how much time will you say, okay, within this much time you have to finish it? Tell me, typically how much time will we take? Quick.
Within 1 hour.
Huh?
Within 1 hour.
1 hour job description, 1 hour you get?
No, at least
No.
maximum of 3 to 4 hours.
So one job description itself, it will take about 2-3 days, no?
2-3
Yes.
days. Maybe see one if you find out similar to that we can get it extracted. Like
How will you go
so-
about? Tell
so-
me, how
so-
will you go about? You will
if
say, okay, I will go to that job. I will ask the person. I will take out an old document of his and then start writing or observing. And then that job exists because there are 4-5 stakeholders, key stakeholders. I
yeah
will talk to them also, because every job exists because it has certain offerings to make to other stakeholders. Like, for example, if I'm an HR manager, I'll have key stakeholders like my CEO, my business heads, then external. So every job has certain offerings to do, or stakeholders have certain expectations. So I have to actually document everything. So, and it will go through 2-3 iterations. Iterations means corrections. It won't be correct in the first time. So it will take 2-3 days or even 4 days. So 50 jobs, 2 months, 3 months. No? But let me tell you guys, I'll give you a very quick method, all of you who want to do. Can you see this? Can you see this? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, very quick method. Isn't it easy if you have something ready, some kind of 70-80% ready material, then it becomes faster, right? So, therefore, there is a free site called Own It Online. Okay. Now, this site is made by the Department of Labor of US, and it is a free site, and you can easily get any job. There are about 3,000 to 4,000 job descriptions. Okay. Now, I'll just show you how to do it. In fact, you want to do compensation benefit manager or HR manager? Tell me quickly.
Compensation benefit manager.
Okay. So, keyed in search. So what have I got? I have got a summary form. A summary where, if you can see, you have a list of tasks. Direct preparation and distribution of written and verbal information for employee benefits. You know what it does. benefits system, designs, evaluates, modifies benefit policies, analyzes compensation policies, identifies, implement benefit. So you have technology skills, you have work activities. Guys, I'm not reading through much. I'm just showing you so that we are a little tight on time. Okay, this is the summary. Now you may say, hey, summary, kya? But let me tell you, now there is details. You have a detailed job description. Can you see them on detailed? Prepares detailed job description and classification system, define job level. So you have a detailed job description given here. Okay. Now, does that mean that you designs, evaluates, and modifies, fulfilling a reporting requirement, identifies, implements? So everything is given. Now, does it mean that now that you've got the job description, you will actually then say, hey, this is a job description? You have some amount of work to do. You can't afford to get everything, ready-made. Now, what I typically do, or a consultant does is, and which I have personally used whenever, these assignments also quite big to make job description. I use Google Forms. Okay. And I will send it, say, hey, this is the job description and this is what are the details. Okay. To all the stakeholders and also to the position holder or the job holder. Are you getting me? Okay. And I say, hey, add or delete what you think is relevant or irrelevant. And if you can add some points. So I get it in a, digitized world very quickly, Google Forms. Then what I do, if I see that for 1 or 2 points, there's not much of a consensus, then I actually call up or find out again and then go through a couple of iterations. And then with the reporting officer, I actually then close it, firm it up. Isn't it a very easy job to do? Right? In this way, you can actually do even 500 job descriptions as a matter of 1 week. Let me tell you. Okay? Any
Ma'am,
questions
I
here,
have a
guys?
question, sir. Yeah, I have a question, ma'am.
Yeah,
So
tell
what I
me.
have seen, because most of the time, while working with the stakeholders, they are not aware about the competency. In fact, they are just aware about the work that this person needs to do, but they are not aware about the competency. So, so as a HR person, we need to understand competency mapping first, and then the job evaluation, or both of these things go hand in hand.
Yogesh, the job holder doesn't have to, or you will see that most of the time they won't even have any competencies. And so competency framework is an expert's work. So we should not even expect that they don't have. Okay. And most of
Okay.
the organizations also may have a competency framework, may not, because that's a different area again, mapping competencies, which is quite a specialist kind of a work,
Yeah.
Again, competency mapping also, without a job description, you can't do competency mapping. Yeah, even for recruitment, you want a job description. So likewise, when you are doing competency mapping, then you take a job description, then you will analyze all the key responsibilities, then you will analyze in critical incidents what kind of competencies are involved. So there is a kind of a technology we use. It could be behavioral event interviewing for with critical incidents. There is a process there, and we are identifying. Here, for you, key responsibility is good enough. When we are talking about the job evaluation and job worth of the job, the key responsibilities, entire detailed description of the job. And when I say description of the job, essentially responsibilities. What does it do? Tasks, activities. That's good enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Yogesh?
Yes.
Huh?
It-
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, now I'm going to close this. So this is one method you can do. So now you have understood job analysis, job evaluation. Now job evaluation, the starting point is job description. Okay. Now, as I said, very important, again, I'm reiterating. So when we are doing job evaluation, the starting point is job description, and we are not evaluating the person, but the position. Okay. So therefore, to get further information, evaluation is strictly of the job, not the person doing it. Finds the worth of one job in relation to that of other jobs within the organization. what is job evaluation means. Okay. And so now the next thing is, there are various ways of doing job evaluation. The simplest method is ranking, and most used methods are two: job grading and point method. Since we don't have much time, ranking is something detailed way. Merit has already sent you information, you can do it. But if in case somebody wants to know a little more about ranking, etc., please feel free to text me or call me up. I have no issues. But today we'll be doing two methods which are being most commonly used methods in the organization, called job grading method and point method. Okay. One is the qualitative method and the other is the quantitative method. Again, just to reiterate, job analysis, systematic process of collecting information. Job description, as I said, is the summation of a report, and job evaluation. Okay. So and I'm not getting into this job analysis methodologies because which are quite simple. A detailed notes is given there where you can do, interviews, observations, questionnaires, etc., and collect all that. Okay. Now we will come to straight away. How does it look like? Job description. These are the things which will be required, and this is how it will look. A sample format of job description, which will also give you title, reporting to whom, and essential duties and job description. Okay. Now, having said that, let us get into the ranking, job grading. Okay. What are we doing now? Job evaluation. What method are we doing? Job grading. Now, I will straight away go to okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
see my screen? Okay. I'm not because I want to show you in such a way that you are very clear about it. What are we doing? Job grading. Job grading is what? A technique of job evaluation, which you can also do after you learn here. Go back and do it, and you'll be doing a project. Step one. Let me do the annotation. Step one. What will I do? Identify compensable factors. Okay. Now you may ask me, ma'am, what is this compensable factor? For example, if you see here, experience. I pay when payroll manager comes with the 5 years of experience as opposed to 1 year of experience, I will say payroll man, this guy has 5 years of experience, so I'll need to give additional increments on that same range salary, right? Compensable factor means factors for which I pay money. Very clear? Very clear? What are the other factors for which you will pay in your organization? Quick. This is going to be a rapid fire, guys. Everybody is such tenured. For what? What do we pay in organizations when people come?
Domain knowledge and experience.
Product knowledge, experience. Then what else? Qualification.
Particular
As
skill.
a person, huh?
Particular
As a
skill he possesses.
yes, skill or technology, because if it is an organization where technology becomes, as you keep growing up, maybe span of control. Are you getting me? So therefore, if you have noticed creativity, huh? So therefore, if you have seen here, compensable factors have written know-how, experience, span of control, huh? Creativity. So let me just go back and show you what are some of the compensable factors typically. So I'm identifying compensable factors, and let me show you what are those compensable factors. Qualification, huh?
Yes.
Product knowledge. Tapan was mentioning about experience, span of control, how much of control it could be, like 500 crores control of the, even dollar amount could also be one of the criteria. Oh, an accounts manager who has to manage, 500 crores as opposed to accounts manager who has to manage 100 crores. So there is some differentiation, right? Then supervision levels. So you can have Google. It pays for creativity, budget control, number of people reporting, business impact, dollar impact, client interaction, effort required. Okay, all this. Got it? So these are all what? Compensable factors. So when you're doing job grading, you have to identify, first of all, compensable factors. Okay? Now you may say, should I identify compensable factors for every job or for every function? No. When you're doing job evaluation, you are identifying compensable factors across the organization. That means certain key compensable factors for which I want to pick. Got it, guys? Then you have to decide on how many grades or how many bands I want. Now you may ask, what is a grade or what is a band? In your organization, you'll have level 1, level 2, level 3, or 5 grades or 3 grades. Grades differentiate because higher the grade, you will get higher the salary. But what does grade essentially differentiate? When you are in a higher grade, you are at a higher experience, you are at a higher water. You are expecting higher effort, higher supervision, etc. Is that clear? Huh? Okay. Now, when grades, depending on your organization, you can have narrow banding or broad banding. What is narrow banding? That means in public sector, you can see 25 grades, levels. Manufacturing also will have about 15 to 20. But if in an IT organization, because, the market conditions are so different, the responsiveness it has to be very, very quick. So you will have at best 4 or 5 levels. So depending on your nature of your organization, you can have broad banding or narrow banding. Any questions? Please shoot. Quick. Any questions? Okay. Next, now you have to write for every grade some descriptor and then do the job grading or job evaluation. Now let me show you the practical aspect so that you are very clear about it. Now, so what did I say? Think about, say, for example, I'm just taking, for example, cognizant. Okay. So I'm just saying I'm doing a job grading evaluation. So I'm talking about, I'm saying I have taken 4. How many compensable factors have I taken? 4 compensable factors. What are they? Know-how. Know-how means somebody said no. Product knowledge, everything. Know-how, experience, span of control, and creativity. Now I said, okay, my organization, I want to have 5 grades, depending on the complexity, depending on the nature of the organization, I'll say 5 grades. And now that's the second step. So how many grades? So grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Now next, what do you need to do? Grade description. You're creating a template. For every grade, I need to write a description. That means what? Hey, for these 4 compensable factors at grade 1, typically what are the kind of qualifications I need to have at grade 1? At grade 1, typically what kind of an experience am I looking at? At grade 1, typically what kind of span of control am I looking at? At a grade 1, typically what kind of a creativity am I looking at? Got it? So you're creating a template. So you wrote a descriptor for grade 1, grade 2. Have you noticed grade 1 has the lowest intensity of descriptors and grade 5 has the highest intensity of descriptors. Thus far, very clear, guys? Now what will you do? Last step, you will take a job description. Say, for example, in your organization, I'm doing job grading for 15 positions. So you will take those positions, if you will form a compensation committee of all the business heads or sometimes even the CEO, everybody, and you will start evaluating. Evaluating means evaluating against this template and say, hey, this job, does it fit here? with this qualification, with this experience, with this one and this one. So I need to then put that position in grade 1. Now, another job, does it fit here? I need to put it in grade 4. So that's how then you will, what will you do? You will put all the positions and make them a cluster, whether they are in grade 1 or grade 2 or grade. Okay. So guys, Vilma, you have job descriptions. I hope all of you have downloaded job descriptions. Have you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. See, you listen, you learn little. But when you do, you learn more. Now you are going to do job grading, but not in a big scale. You're going to do it in a small scale so that you will understand the concept. I won't say you will become perfect, but you will understand and get it very clear. Now, so what is the instruction? You have to create first a template like this. You are doing job grading now, but only 4 grades. No 5 grades. You can take a picture of this. Only 4 grades. How many? Only 4 grades. Now, you will only take 4 compensable factors. Only 4 compensable factors. So step 1, all of you will make, now you will be grouped into 2 groups. How many are we? How many are we? 11 participants. No, so 9 participants.
9.
So Vilma will make you all into 5 participants or whatever. I'll leave it to her judgment. Okay. She will make them into 2 groups. Now, and make a good combination, Vilma. Okay. Now, what you need to do is you have to first create a template like this with 4 by 4. That means 4 grades and 4 compensable factors, and write a descriptor, grade descriptor for those factors. Means, because if you just write grade 1 and don't write anything, what is the know-how you require? Or instead of know-how, you can write education. So you choose your own compensable factors. This is only to help you and guide you. But you can choose your own compensable factors. You can have product knowledge. You can have, whatever be it, budget control, decision making, whatever you want. And now you have, Vilma has given you certain job descriptions under 4 or 5 functions. I would request all of you to take one function and only do for 5 jobs job grading. How many? Only 5 jobs. What does it mean? You have to map these jobs to these grades. And where will you write? Under grade 1, you write that position. Under grade 2, you write whatever you have mapped. Under grade 3 or under grade 4. You only do 5 positions. If I wish I could tell you 10 positions, but because time is not going to be there, so only do 5 positions. Got it? And to make it simpler for you, don't get into different functions, but only take one function. And if in one function there are not 5 positions, then you can take another function and add 2 more positions. Okay? But please understand that compensable factors are not different from function to function. These are common compensable factors which you will look at them across the organization. So typically when we do as a consultant job grading, we look at all the positions across the functions. Here, because of the time constraint, I'm saying just use one function or 2 functions. Okay? Now, look at the job description, look at the responsibility and say, hey, he's here or he's here or he's here. Very clear? And once you have done that, I want you to use another Excel sheet. Don't get into other things. See what is all this. Just put your list of 5 positions and put your grades here. I just want to show you something. Okay? Done, guys? Anybody, before getting into the breakout activity, any questions, please ask me. But I'm always there to help you. And this exercise has to be done. Vilma, 20 minutes? How much time should we give?
Yeah, 20-25 minutes they will need.
All right. Okay, done. Let it seep in, no? Okay.
Yeah.
But before you get in any questions from anybody, Yogesh, Jayesh, Tapan, Devi, huh? Any questions? Or maybe you want to start and then if you have any questions, I'm around. Okay?
Yeah, we will start
Yeah.
and then maybe in case we will.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Done. Done, Yogesh.
Okay, so
Okay.
we have in room 1 Abhijit, Jayesh, Kutub, and Tapan. Room 1. And room 2 Devi, Kishore, Nagendra, Nishant, and Yogesh. I'm opening the room now.
Done. Okay. I'll stop this.
Yes, you can join.
Find out whether we-
Guys, are you there in the main room now?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Just give one more minute and in fact, what we can do is you guys are finished. Okay, we just wait for just 1-2 minutes for the other group to join as well. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Any challenges, guys? What kind of challenges you came across?
No, actually,
Creating
yeah.
a differentiation in the by way of grades. It is always a challenge. How to differentiate between the two grades? What is the critical point which is associated with one grade which is not there in the other grade?
Very, very good question. And this job grading was essentially to do that. So I think, yes, Tapan, a very good question. Okay, is the group there? I will explain it.
Yeah.
See, you asked a question. So when you're going by the title and saying, hey, he could be at grade 2, he can be at grade 3 only by the title. So what happens? Our judgment is biased because I get biased by the title, senior manager finance. Oh, it must be grade 3. No. Here, when I did job evaluation, that is what you needed to do. Without looking at the title, I have to go into the details of his responsibilities and then relate to what the descriptor I've given, saying, because when you show me that Excel sheet, I will tell you that, hey, at a grade 1, this is the kind of experience I require. At grade 1, he's going to do only this much of creativity at grade 1. So based on the descriptor you have written for those compensable factor, I need to differentiate looking into the job description and say, hey, he will be in job grade 1 or he will be in grade 2 or he will be in grade 3.
So Abhijit,
I will not say like a arbitrary, okay, fine, let him go to grade 1, let him go to grade. Tapan asked a very good question. Now, your answer to this question is that you have to look into the responsibility of the job, the list of responsibilities of that job and look at what intensity. At a grade 1, my intensity of responsibility will be very less. At a grade 5, if you look at the description and written there, it will be very different.
so Abhijit, can you share that Excel so that ma'am can do?
We can start
Yeah,
doing
I'm
that.
sharing.
Yeah. So that when the group joins, please share and side by side you keep a job. I will then help you with it. So that when Tapan goes back to do it, he's very clear about it.
Yeah, I'm sure no.
Okay, Tapan and group.
Yes.
All right. This is what I said. I didn't want. Okay. Now, let me tell you all. And I will, you will have to just go and quickly do it. Now, somebody first tell me what you all did. Whoever. Yeah, please.
So we have made few compensable factors, which is qualification, job knowledge or creativity, we can say, then skill set, experience, and decision making.
Great. Okay. Then what was the next step you all did?
Then for grade 1, we have assumed that qualification is graduate. For grade 2, engineer. For grade 3, postgraduate. And for grade 4 also, it is postgraduate.
Okay.
And in terms of the job knowledge, we have, as per the JD, we have identified that for grade 1, it is assessment of parameters and fact finding is there.
Okay.
in a
Okay.
nutshell, if we have to describe it. And for grade 2, it is data analysis and finding solutions, because he is a first escalation manager also.
Okay. Supervision and process improvement. Good. Skill sets, MS Office, RCA. Okay. So your descriptives are really there on there. Now, which are the positions you have taken for job grading? Good.
We have
As I understand from this, you have taken 1, 2, 3. You have taken only 4 positions?
Yes, the quality position only.
Okay, only 4 positions you have taken.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So typically you can take many positions also. You
Okay.
can typically when we do job grading, you can take 10 positions, 15 positions, depending on the number of positions you have to do job grading. Now, they need not be only belonging to one function. They will be across the organization. Because of the time constraint, I said just take one position, one function. Okay, good enough. Now, how did you go about evaluating? Did you so you went through the job description?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what next? Then you went through for qualification. Maybe it is not written there, but you could have assumed. So you said, okay, qualification, he should be a graduate, and you are in quality analyst. You said, hey, this guy needs a graduation, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. And job knowledge also, you went through the description to do this work. He needs this kind of a job knowledge, right?
Yes.
Right, correct.
And so these are the kind of skill sets he requires. The experience is this one, and decision making. So typically when we are doing job grading, I think you've gone almost all, I mean, your process is very good. Maybe fine tuning, you will get it once you keep on doing. You have done very good job saying that, okay, now I've gone through the job description, I've evaluated the job and said that, hey, this quality analyst, as per the description of these compensable factors, they fit into grade 1. And so you assigned grade 1. Got it? Got it?
Actually, we are
Tapan?
biased. No, ma'am. Actually, we are biased with this terminology that
Title.
has been used.
Title. Title.
Yes.
Title. So
Yes.
typically what happens as a consultant, we typically, when we are also trying to train people, will say, don't go by the title. Because if you go by the title, sometimes what happens, organizations, they're misleading. You have to actually see what does he do? Sometimes titles can be very big, but I'll tell you what happened. There was this guy who called me up and said, HR manager said, ma'am, I'm getting only 30 lakhs, but in the market survey I saw, and that some other HR manager is getting 60 lakhs. Now, he is a company where it's 100 crore revenue, and the job description is so different from the guy who was actually handling 500 crores. His responsibilities, budgetary control, all were different. Okay? So even if he is an HR manager and even other guy is HR manager, now can I actually, when I do this, well, maybe I will have a compensable factor like, budgetary control or decision making also I can have. Then clearly the descriptor will be very different, right? You may have the same title. Are you with me?
Yes.
So
Yes.
when we are doing job grading, I know here this is the first time. Let me tell you, when even I was learning, I was actually biased with the job titles. But I mean, you learn, no? When you're driving a car, you immediately don't start driving very fast. You are playing with the clutch and the gear and the clutch and the gear. Like that, you will learn. Okay?
Yes.
And let me also tell you guys, if you need help when you're doing this for your own organization, feel free. You can always write to me and I'll help you. Okay?
Okay.
For accuracy. But then you're not doing it alone. If you do it alone in your room and everything, nobody is going to buy it. Why did you put me in grade 1, grade 2? You have to have a committee who will buy this, it has to be a very participative kind of a thing. It can't, job grading, job evaluation can't be just a one-man show. Because the other person whom you are evaluating will say, no, I am at a higher grade or I have to get higher points. Will you agree with me?
Yes.
Somebody will tell Tapan, will say, no, you are 400 points. You will say, no, I have to be 500 points. Huh?
Yes.
So this has to be an exercise where you have to take into consideration the business heads, sometimes the HR head, the CEOs, etc. Because it's all about money, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you have done an excellent job, guys. Okay. Now I think, no, you really done a very excellent job. So who are the members of your group? Tapan,
Abhijit, Jayesh,
Kutubuddin, Jayesh, I mean, all of them are all very tenured people. Good job, guys. So you can take a break. Okay. Now let me just check what the time. It is 4:08, 4:10. You can come back at 4:20. By then, I will also finish the other group. Okay.
4:30, na?
Pardon? Yeah.
Timing?
This group can
4:30.
take a break. Pardon? Now we have the other group, Devi group. Huh? Yeah. Great. Okay, welcome, guys. You can also watch this, how these people have done. Can you make it a little bigger if it's okay with you all?
See the other groups, sheet?
Yeah, great. So, very good work. Some people seem to have already. Now, you did finance and HR, right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 positions you all did. 9 positions you all have done, right? You all
Yes.
did 5 grades. Very good. Huh? You all did 5 grades. And let me look at who wants to be the MC coordinator. Yeah. Please tell
I
me
think
how did you
Kishore
all
was
do that?
doing it.
Yes, ma'am. I can
Devi?
explain you.
Kishore. Yes. Yes, Kishore.
So we have taken 5 grades and we have taken compensable factors as a qualification, a span of control, experience, and revenue.
Good.
1 second, ma'am. I'll
Yeah.
just.
Very nice. Very good. Huh?
So we have fixed 0 to 2 years in first grade and 2 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 12, and the senior most in 5th grade. And the one where we had more discussion was on the revenue impact compensable factor. So we wanted to have 3, 4, 5 grade to have some revenue impact. So such kind of job description is parked in 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, in manufacturing organizations or even in finance, you will definitely have revenue impact. Operations, production, revenue impact will be there. Yeah. Good.
And then in span of control, it is more of how they are individual contributor or a team. So what is the size of the team depends upon how they get classified in 3, 4, 5.
Very good. Very good. Good
So,
work. Good work.
yeah. So just want to add one point here. So, ma'am, we went through the job description. We checked, what is required for that particular role. Basis that we decided, okay, that will fall in this span, that will fall here. So that's how we analyze, this thing.
Now, is the other group also here or they have gone off for a break? Is the other group there?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. We are
You
here.
are there? Yeah. Very important point now I want to say. All of you will be going back and doing it. Okay. Now here, for the sake of learning the technique, I gave you job descriptions, ready-made job description. Okay. And I asked you to do this, identify compensable factors and grades. Now, when you go back, your work relevance and reliability will depend on I should have an understanding of the organization's business objectives, what are the core competencies required, etc. Okay. And the business models, then little understanding. Then I will identify the right compensable factors which should drive organization, right? For which I want to pay. 2, because typically what happens when you are identifying compensable factors, they depend on your strategy. For example, organizations can have just an operational excellence strategy. What am I saying? I will just write down because sometimes you guys, operational excellence. Okay, because you are sharing, so I can't write. But please keep just write operational excellence strategy. For example, Amazon, operational excellence. Walmart, operational excellence. So what do I mean by operational excellence? That means their focus is most on what standard operating processes because they want to be efficient. They want to be effective. So by reducing what? Reducing the cycle times, ensuring even in their supplies just in time, ensuring what quality, not too much of rework. So they're increasing productivity. Okay, so that is one model, operational excellence. So then I will have some of the compensable factors based on that. Then I can also have a business model like what Google, what is that? Product leadership, where the compensable factor will be more on what if I want product leadership and I will actually hire monkeys, will I get good creative products? I have to have very good people. I'll pay so much to have really good people. So product leadership, features keep on improving. So which compensable factor will I give more money? Creativity, product knowledge. Are you with me, guys? Huh? Trying to help you.
Yes.
Now I can have another model like some of the organizations, like say, hmm, yeah, Dell or other, where or Starbucks, where what customer delight, customer intimacy, close to the customer. I will have CRMs, establish customer relationship, high on that. So that means customer orientation will be very, very important for me. I will look at that compensable factor, right? I'll pay them. Hmm? So therefore, it depends on that when you go back. That's one. Then the practical part or the process part. Now, I have made a template with the compensable factors, but in your job description, I have no responsibility or I have not even captured from the job what is required in that compensable factor. Then how will I evaluate? Is it a good question? Huh? So what do I do? When I'm doing a job evaluation, I will ensure that I will create a common questionnaire which will incorporate even questions with regard to all the compensable factors. Now, here what has happened is we gave you job descriptions, may not have some amount. That's why I said you assume also. Got it, guys? Any reaction? Yeah, you should say
Yes, yes,
yes.
ma'am.
No.
Yes,
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 ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
We were
Nice.
nodding our head.
Because I
Yes.
could see Yogesh, saying, so I wanted to clarify this here. We gave you, little so that you can understand the technology. But when you go back, these are some things you should, conditions. You have to have a common questionnaire incorporating all the responsibilities, which will also take into consideration the descriptors of these compensable factors. Because if you don't have them, then how will you do the evaluation? Got it?
So, ma'am,
So
Yes, ma'am.
that's one.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to go back, so job evaluation doesn't start with job description. It starts much more earlier, right, ma'am?
Tell me. Tell me.
Job evaluation step doesn't
Hmm.
start with job description, right? We can do it without job description also.
No, no. You have to have a document,
No,
Kishore,
but
if you don't have a job, JD,
Ma'am.
you are saying I can't do it because you are assuming that there is a document there.
for mapping the position, we should have a JD, but arriving at compensable factors,
No, no. Arriving compensable factors are something which the committee, compensation committee, will decide based on my in-depth knowledge of the organization, etc. I'll say, hey, these are the compensable factors which are very, very critical for the success of this organization. So we will take into consideration. By and large, if you see there's a pattern, you will definitely go for experience, you will definitely go for qualification, you will definitely look at span of control. You'll definitely look at, if based on my business model, hey, is it I'm looking at creativity, or is it I'm looking at product knowledge, is it I'm looking at customer focus is very, very high, so that also has to be there, right? I'm going to put it as a compensable factor. These are some of the things.
so if I am a conglomerate, ma'am, can I have
Does
a
that
basic compensable factor and the industry specific compensable factor? Say, for example, I am a conglomerate across various industry.
Hmm. Hmm. Conglomerate. So then you will have to have different compensable factors for different groups. because
But
they perform, their focus is different, etc. Even within the same organization, like for example, in the last organization where I was a senior VP, it had a BPO, it had a IT. Now, if I say compensable factors for BPO and IT will be the same, no. So we had to segregate. BPO will have a separate compensable factor, separate pay structure, and IT will have a different structure.
okay.
Are you getting me, Kishore? Because the complexity and the nature of the organization is different. There I might have just 3 levels, here I might have different levels. So even in the same organization, you also have to look at. Okay, like for example, in a manufacturing organization, up to supervisory level, on the shop floor, I'll have compensable factors, because there the career growth or whatever is it, even if the person is there for 20 years also, he may have just 1, 2, 3 levels only. Now putting that along with your entire management cadre, it will become very difficult, chaos, because the nature complexity is much more different than the other one. Okay, so there is so much of material which Vilma has given. Please, practical material, read it, and then you can always write to me. Right now, next thing, now I have only said, hey, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, these are the positions. But now I have to actually, if I only know their worth, that is in, but I have to design a salary structure. How will I do that? We'll get back after break, that is 10 minutes, and then do that. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question actually.
Please tell me.
So you said for compensable factor, we also have to set up, common questionnaire. What sort of common questionnaire
No,
that we
no,
need
not compensable factors. I said for job, when we are doing job evaluation, typically I have a common questionnaire, instead of taking the old job descriptions, I will actually have a special questionnaire which is almost like a job description, taking care of all the responsibilities to all those jobs for which I have to do evaluation. That's the questionnaire.
Okay. So can we have a sample of that questionnaire where we can see, some kind of sample, some kind?
Let me, I will send it across. Okay.
Okay.
Because all
Okay.
the Mercer Aon people, when they start job evaluation, they will actually go with the questionnaire and capture all the data for that position.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not talking about compensable factors.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Got it.
when Mercer Aon, Hewitt, and also here does, they have their patent model where they come up with a fixed set of compensable factors with a template. It is, it comes, they have done it because they have tested, done research, everything done. Now, they are evaluating and putting the position there. Why? They also have data for other manufacturing organizations. So if there's a variance, they will test it. I'll help you with that. How we
Okay.
do that, what it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So welcome back, and so anybody recall? So what did we do? Just in one sentence, what did we do now? We did the job grading and we map jobs into the respective grades. That's what we did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what is the next step? We have to now design a salary structure. We have not done that, right? We have to design a salary structure. So when we say, how do we establish fairness? Now we have evaluated the worth of the job in relation to the other jobs and said, hey, this job is in grade 1. Sorry, this job is in grade 2. Now we have to assign salary. How do you think we will do that? Quick. So the process, it's a technical process. So how do we do? We call it as cluster analysis. What do we call it as? Cluster analysis. So how do we do that? We take a list of positions, whatever we have evaluated. For example, here I have done what? I've taken 8 positions for which I had to do job evaluation. So I have put all the positions. I've done the job evaluation. Now, engineer was in grade 1, finance in grade 2. So I also made a column where I put all the grades. Done? Now, what will I do? I will go to the market that is salary survey, benchmark data, etc. Take the job description of these positions of the same industry, apples to apple, and then get the salary data, market data of this position. So here, if you have noticed, I have another column in F where I have put market salary. Got it? Huh? So these are my grades which I have done internally, and this is my market data which I have got externally. Very clear? Now, next, what will I do? I will do something called a cluster analysis. For cluster analysis, simple. What will I do now? Okay. I am highlighted. I will say insert. I look at a chart. I look at a scatter graph. Okay. Then I will click on anyone and I will say add a trend line. Got it? So I have a trend line and I have how many positions in grade 1? I have 3 positions in grade 1. I have 3 positions in grade 2 and I have 2 positions. These are all positions for which I have done grading. There could be many positions. You can likewise do cluster analysis for all the positions. Are you with me? Next.
Yes.
Now, next, what will I do? You have seen this can be your y-axis and this can be your x-axis. X-axis is the grade axis. Y-axis is your salary market data axis. Okay. Now, in your market data axis, you can see that the lowest point in that grade 1 has a salary of, say, for example, how much? It could be 10, 10,000. It is about 10,000. So I'm assuming, okay, it is above even in the midpoint. So 18,000 and then, or even 16,000. Here I'm not going exactly. And then you can see 20,000. Okay. So the min is what? So I'm putting there grade 1. Min is 18,000. Max is 20,000. Then again, min is how much? 20,000 and max is 30,000. Then min is 50,000 and max is 70,000. Okay, let me push this somewhere else. I'm sorry. Okay, this is clear. Now, now let us shift our gear to here. I've created a grade sheet. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Min is this, max is this, a salary range. But if you notice, here, from 30,000, suddenly it has become 50,000. Now, possibilities. There were not many positions. So obviously these positions, they are showing this. But I have to create a grade structure. So what will I do? I will create maybe 2A, 2B. So I can create one more grade here saying I can create from 30 to I'll create a one more grade. Maybe after some time I'll have some positions. You getting me? Yeah. So you then start doing what iterations and mechanically you have to do this. So what is it? I've created a grade. Now.
Ma'am, I have a question. Because we already have created grade, why do we need to create another one? Why
No,
can't
sorry.
we have...
Yeah. Please come again. I'm just sorry. Yeah, there was some noise somewhere.
No problem. So, ma'am, we already have created grades, right? We already have defined grade. Why do we need to define, another grade after looking at the market salary? Why can't we increase the range of the grade 2 to 50,000 so that we can cover all the people there?
I'm coming to that. Now. So I said one is you can create 2A and 2B. Now I'm writing here 18,000. Okay. 18,000 and 20,000. This is mechanical. You have to as a complement person after that. What is this is called grade 1 and this is called salary range. Let me write here so that you will salary range. What is salary range? That means it will have a min and a max. So what is the min? 18,000 and the max is 20,000. What is the difference between 18,000 and 20,000? How much is the difference?
2,000.
2,000. So keep that aside. Now I have to look internally. You have to look at data. Typically, how many years does a person stay in a particular grade 1, before he gets promoted on an average to grade 2? What did he ask? On an average. I'm not saying high performer, low performer. No. On an average, typically, how many years does it take for my organization internally? You have to look at data. Typically, 3 years, 4 years. So,
3 years.
2 to 3 years.
so
2
say
to
for
3 years.
example, so this is your real data. Say for example, I am saying 4 years. Okay. On an average, how many years does it take? 4 years. Typically, what is the kind of an increment I give every year on an average? When you do such things, you don't take outliers as low or high. You always take median data. So on an average, say for example, I will say on an average, I'm just saying 1,000 rupees. Or I can say I'm giving on an average. It depends. So let us take, hypothetically, 1,000 rupees. Now, if I give 1,000 rupees, typically, so 18,000 and 1,000. So how much does it add to then? 4 years. So how much does it add to? Quick,
Yeah.
quick. Huh?
22.
18 plus 4, 4,000.
22.
Because 4 into 1 is
22.
4,000, no? 4 into 1, 4 multiplied by 1,000 is 4,000 rupees. So if I have to add 18,000 plus 4,000, how much? Quick.
22.
22,000.
22,000. Huh? So 22,000. Sorry. But the present grade which I have just put is 18,000. So 20,000. So what I need to do, I have to expand it. So my grade will become now 18,000 to 22,000 to accommodate my promotion policy kind of a thing, that on an average 4 years at 1,000 rupees will have 4,000 rupees. So I have to accommodate. Are you with me, please? Are you with
Yes,
me?
yes,
Huh?
yes.
Now you will say, ma'am, but this one is starting at 20,000. It's okay. Your brand. So there is an overlap. There's
Ma'am,
an overlap.
I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. Just a quick
Mm,
question.
mm.
How did you arrive to 4,000? 1,000 is the increment after 4 years, right?
No, I said
every year.
every year
Yeah,
1,000.
Every year, I
Will you,
think.
every year.
Yogesh, will you stay if you get 1,000 increment for 4 years?
No.
Huh?
No, I won't.
I
But
took hypothetically 1,000 rupees per year. So 4 years, 4,000
okay,
rupees.
okay,
Hmm?
1,000 rupees per year. Okay, okay.
Okay, so that's all. So you have to do it with your own promotion policy data, etc. And then once you have done this, now maybe you have done just few positions. Maybe there will be future
But now
positions.
that matter.
So your
Doesn't.
structure always has to accommodate. Got it?
Yeah.
It cannot be on just the people who are present in the present organization. Okay?
Yeah.
So, having said that, after you create a grade, then all your benefits, everything can be taken care of, because you will say grade 1 reimbursement policy, mobile policy, travel stay. You can create that. Got it? So, typically, people, what they do the grading, then they will also then do their benefits as per the grades. So, this is called cluster analysis, and you will be given some homework on this, and when you do it, then probably things will be very, very clear. Can we move on, guys? Because we have something very important now, please. And
Yes,
there's
ma'am.
very less time. Okay. Now, the next methodology is point plan. And I'm sure some of you have heard of point plan. And I'm sure some organizations where you are working have used point plan. Now, job grading is typically what? A qualitative method. You looked at it. So sometimes you'll have a same compensable factor even in another grade. Now, this is a quantitative method. So the difference here is that you can actually objectively look at assign points for a position. So when you are doing point method, till the time identifying compensable factors is the same. Okay, that's all. After that, then you have to forget whatever you have done in job grading. Please look at it carefully, because you will be doing a worked out example of regression, but you won't be doing the entire thing now. Okay, so please now, so in the point method, step 1 is identifying compensable factors. Step 2, you have to decide on how many degrees will you have. Now you may say degrees are grades. No, degrees are nothing but they are, the compensable factor being differentiated from low to high. It's like a level. Know how. So degree 1 is the lowest level, and degree 2 is a little higher, degree 3 is a little higher, and degree 4 is a little higher. But do not mistake degrees with grades. They are not grades. They are not grades. Now, step 2 is degree. This is also called, if you read any compensation book, they're called degrees of differentiation. Step 3, weightages. You have to assign weightages to your compensable factors, which you have not done. The premise. What is the premise? Saying that all compensable factors may not be of equal importance in an organization. So you are prioritizing, you are ranking. So it is called weightage. Weightage, I'm sure all of you know, because payroll guys, so I'm sure everybody knows weightage means total should be 100. So highest, more important, higher weightage, low important, low weightage. So if you have noticed here, these are the compensable factors. I've kept them same. Then this is the weightage I have given. So totaling to 100. Don't give a weightage of more than 50 to one compensable factor. Then it will become a bias. So always limit it to less than 50. Then the last thing is you have to create a point plan. Now, how will you create a point plan? Now, a point plan can be 500, 1,000, etc. This is a 400 point plan. Now, how will you create a point plan? Simple. Once you have done this, then you also have to write the descriptors. Without descriptors, numbers will be meaningless. Now, 25 is the weightage. Multiply with degree 1. How much it will be? 25. 25 multiplied by 2, 50. 25 multiplied by 3, 75 and 100. 25 multiplied by 1, 25. So if you notice, you are now doing what? Populating the point plan. So for degree 1, you have 25, 25, 20, 20, which should be equal to 100. Now at degree 2, this should be totaled into 200. Degree 3, 300. Degree 4, 400. This is all simple, guys. You have already, I'm sure you could comprehend. Now, this is the last stage where it is little complex. Now, once you have this, what you need to do, you have to assign points value to your position. How will you do? Say, for example, I'm having a job description of a HR team lead. I have a document. Now, I'll say, hey, my HR team lead, I will read it out and say, know-how. What does he need? Should he need a, what? ITI? Means you will write here, no, for all the functions, ITI or HR diploma or graduation, etc. So based on that, you will write, you will then round up that number. For example, I'll say an HR team lead, I will need only diploma in business management. I've written that also as a qualification here. So what number will I assign? Anybody? Quick. What number will I assign? Okay.
25.
Huh?
25. 25.
25. Say, for example, work experience, I will say 0 to 2 years. What number will I assign?
25.
25. 25. Span of control also is an individual contributor.
20.
20.
Okay, say for example, an HR manager, I'm saying this person has to lead a small team. What value will I assign? Point value?
40.
40.
40. So here the best beauty is I don't have to go like this vertically. I can pick and choose depending on the intensity of the descriptor required. I can choose, maybe he needs, just 0 to 2 is 25, but in creativity, maybe it needs very high. I can assign 90. And for example, in know-how, maybe I need at a higher level 50. So I can use anyway, like, let me just annotate. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, can I use a line? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, for example, for an HR manager, maybe I will use, see, this. Maybe I will say, hey, in span of control, it is here. Huh? Then I can also say, creativity also, I need this much. Okay. Then, but maybe work I only need this much. And what else? So 4 things, right? So, yeah. So what did I do? I added this and all this. So I can also use, I can go like this, I can go here, I can go here. So that means I'm picking, which you did not have the flexibility where, job grading. Did you have that flexibility? No, we did not have that flexibility. So what did I do now? I did job evaluation using point method. And for all these positions, one second. Okay. Yeah. For all these positions, what did I do? For all these positions, I calculated point values. Can you see this point value for HR team lead is 220. For a technical manager, 365. You may ask, how did you get these points, ma'am? Or how did you derive these points, ma'am? Simple. I looked at all the 4 compensable factors, their descriptors, okay, and the intensity required, and chose that point value. Now, here, I cannot have a repetition of any descriptor in the degrees. If I have given 0 to 2, I'm sorry, it should be 3 to 5 here. That is a small mistake I made. Okay. Why? If there is an overlap, that means I'm assigning higher value for the same descriptor. Got it? So you have to be doubly sure that your descriptors are sharp. You cannot have any overlapping. Okay. And for your ready reference, I'll send you some good amount of descriptors, how they are. I will show you. But in this limited time, yeah. So this is it. Now, after I have done this, similarly, now which is the highest position in this jobs which I have?
Technical chief.
Technical chief.
So easy to make out, no? The higher the points, higher is the job. Lower position,
200. This senior.
100 and 200. Now, so now I can actually tell, hey, I can rank them and say this is the highest position, this is the lowest position. Now they have to be paid, but I don't know how much to pay. I only have a list of jobs which are ranked saying that this is the highest and this is the lowest. Now I have to get what? Market data. Market data, where do I get from? Quick. Market from salary survey, etc. Now, having said that, what will I do now? I will use a very important statistical tool called regression. Don't get scared by saying, oh, regression, I know how to do it. Very simple to do regression. Okay. So I will do regression. Regression helps you to derive what you need to pay through these 2 sets of data, which is called X and Y. Okay. So I call this as X and I call market salary as Y. Now, because when you do that, so for regression, you have to calculate 2 values, slope value and intercept value. Some of you may already know about it. Slope value and intercept value. Now, how will I calculate slope value and intercept value? Very simple. What will I do? Go to formula. Okay. Then insert function. Now I have to calculate. First we'll calculate slope value, just like that. Then I'll say, okay. Known wise, let me first, let me just drag this here. Okay. And let me clear this. Okay. So known wise, which one should I take? Known wide data, market data. Got it? Then I go to known axis. Now here I purposely left one market data vacant. So, but you should take only till the market data is there. So correct. Now what will I do? Okay. Sorry, I have to do it again because I didn't. I'll do this. Okay. Now let me just go. Formula, insert function, slope. Okay. Known wise. Then known axis. All right. Then, okay. What is the value? Slope value?
413.
413. I'll write it here, huh? SLOPE. Slope value. You can round it off to close. 413.56 you can keep. Okay. Now, what is the next value I have to calculate? I'll calculate intercept value. Now, what will I do? Somebody? Formula? Then quick here.
Insert
function. Then
and then
intercept. Then okay. Now you just stick to these technical terms, slope and intercept. But because we won't have so much of time, I will explain to you mechanically what is this slope and intercept. Okay?
Yeah.
It needs little time. So I will draw the graph and show you and how it will. Now, X. Okay. What is the value? Minus 64426.46. All right. So this is your intercept value. To do regression, you need to have two values. Now, calculate what you need to pay. Salary of this HR team lead. Simple. What you need to do now? Use the slope value and intercept value in this equation. Y is equal to slope multiplied by point value plus intercept. In other words, I typically say Y is equal to AX plus this plus. Sorry. AX plus B, where A is the slope, X is the point value, and B is the intercept. Now, very, very often, you will get intercept value as minus, mostly minus. So don't get scared saying, oh, my intercept value came minus. It's mostly minus. Now, how will I do that? So if you notice, you just have to put that formula. What I do prefer to, you can put it. Can you see this in my near that function? So hardwire those data, that is your slope value. 414, I actually rounded off. 414 multiplied by the point value. Point value is what? C18. Can you see it? 220. So C18. Then what you do? Minus the intercept. Minus 64426. And then what I did? I just put the formula, dragged it, and you get the salary. This is the pay salary what you need to pay for your positions. Now you may ask, ma'am, this is what I have to pay? Yes. This is the salary at a median. Because market always gives you median. Median means, I'll explain this in my market next session because I don't want to confuse you all. You just remember to 50th percentile. Median means 50th percentile. Now, based on my compensation policy, whether I want to lead the market or be on par with the market, I can increase my pay by maybe 10% or 15%, or if I feel that the supply of these positions are quite good, and the demand is not much, like a support system, HR, finance, I want to pay them less. I will only pay my core operation people more. Then you can also lag the market. Yes, guys. Any questions now?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this compensable factors and deciding which is to be weighted as what and what is to be given to which position. Let's say 50 we have given to HR manager in terms of his qualification and all. Ma'am, who will decide? Because if HR only decides, then everyone will say it's only HR's job. They have
I
done
told
all
you,
their.
I think someone, or maybe it was, I told that when you're doing a job evaluation exercise, even if you have experts in the organization, typically it is outsourced. Why? Why? Because people, when HR guy will do and he will call 3, 4 people and do, they'll say, Arey, you people have done this all by us. I don't agree to it.
Mhm.
है ना?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
even if you know the work, typically there is a purpose in it. One is salary survey. Normally they give it to outsiders, but today you can also buy a published survey data and do it inside, because the data comes from here on, Hewitt, etc. But typically when you do such exercises, you are evaluating a person. So therefore, even if I'm doing it very, very objectively, to tell the other person, hey, this is what it is, he'll say, no, no, अपने आप बंदे को ऊपर कर दिया, इस पोजीशन को लोअर कर दिया, मेरा पोजीशन लोअर कर दिया. That is
Yes.
bound to happen, to be very honest.
Yes, ma'am.
So even to reduce this, you have to create what I call it as compensation committee. Now, who will be the members of compensation committee? It should be cross-functional, in the sense, not just HR people, because the
Yes.
the operation guy, for him, no, the last person to trust is the HR person. They won't trust HR people. तो सारे ये लोग सब गड़बड़ करते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
रेटिंग भी गड़बड़ करते हैं. मेरा बिजनेस हेड तो 5 दे दिया, बट इन्होंने पुल करके मेरे को 4 बना दिया. What do they know? They have done normalization करके, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Ma'am, you just
So,
mentioned. Sorry. Yes.
yeah, please
You
tell me.
you just mentioned we can take help of Aon, Mercer. They provide all these service. We can buy their published surveys.
Published
But
surveys, they are called.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm from hospitality industry. I work in Orange County Resorts in
Yeah,
Bangalore.
I recall.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we spoke earlier. Ma'am,
Yeah.
I tried speaking to Mercer Aon. Mercer I spoke to. Mercer, they told that they don't do for hospitality. They have not done. But Aon had done, but that is quite out of my budget. Is there any other company, if you can recommend, who can do hospitality?
Okay,
This is
right
because
now, maybe we can take it on I can suggest some names for you. Maybe a
later,
little
ma'am.
later.
Yes,
You can
later.
do.
I'll
Yeah.
reach out to you, ma'am.
No,
Even
and
if you know this is only for objectivity. Typically, people call an outsider objectivity, because वो बोलते हैं ना, third person will be impartial.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a different thing that they don't know that the HR head, he will do everything what way. So, but in job evaluation, it's very objective. So
Yes.
therefore, you have to have the buy-in from all the stakeholders. Got
Yes.
it?
And that's the
Even a
most
market
difficult
survey.
task.
Even a market survey, they will
Yes.
say, how did you show this? अरे ये company बढ़ रहा है, नहीं आपने ये नहीं दिखाया. So these are things, because it is related to money, it has to be seen. That perception matters. Perception also matters. Okay. So
Yes.
having said that, tell me on the technicality front, have you understood it?
Yes,
Because you're
ma'am.
going to do something now quickly.
Ma'am, another question. This point value X and market salary Y. This is on. I mean, how will we decide which should be on the X axis and what should be on the Y axis?
Good question. I thought I'll tell you later, but anyway, always when you do regression, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
When I say regression, statistical analysis, you are using 2 sets of data, 2 variables. Got it? You are using 2
Both
variables.
are variables. Okay.
Now, yeah. So point value is also variable, market salary is also variable. But in regression, I don't know if people, you have heard about correlation and regression. We do analytics also. So when you're using 2 variables in regression, we are saying we are using dependent variable and independent variable.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Yes,
Dependent variable. I'll write it down here. So that dependent variable and independent variable. Dependent. And then next one will be independent variable.
Yes, ma'am.
Dependent. Now, always in regression, whether you are talking about market data or whether, this data, or whether you are doing a marketing is using anything, think about it. I'll give you a simple example. There are two sets of data. One is fertilizer,
Yes, ma'am.
and fertilizer data is one data, and growth of a plant is one data. I'm pouring everyday fertilizer data to the growth. So the plant is growing. So tell me which is a independent variable there and which is a dependent variable. Quick.
Independent is fertilizer and plant growth is
Excellent. Excellent. Who said this? Not who said this? Excellent. So
Yes, ma'am.
independent is always X. Always. Dependent is always
Y.
Y. Okay. So my point value is dependent on market date, market salary. Higher the points, higher the market salary may be. More the fertilizer, more the growth may be. Got it?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
X and Y. Have you got it? So now, 1 second, let me delete this so that I don't want to show you some tricks because you are just learning. So if I show you too much, then you will get confused. But because I'm going to give you something. Now, the same thing I calculated like this, you can do also quickly like this. I left one data here. Okay. I purposely. Sometimes what happens when you are doing job evaluation, maybe you can't get market data because in your organization, that's a unique position which you can't find market data. It happens, no?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't find market data. Then what will you do? So at that point of time, that's how all consultants and mercers here. So then what will you do? You have total points. But when you're calculating the actual salary you have to pay, you only want the value of slope and intercept.
Okay.
You don't need market data. So therefore, for positions which are unique to the organization, you are using the value of slope and intercept and doing the salary. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys? Okay. Now, a quick method so that when you go back now, what's the time? Okay. You can also do it like this when you're doing this work, when I'll give you breakout activity. One is, okay, insert. I'll give you only one now, one quick method. After that, I'll give you two quick methods. I won't show you that now. You did this earlier, no? We did this earlier, right? Scattergram? Yes, no, guys?
Yes. I don't think so. We have done.
Yes.
Now, can you see? Now I'm clicking on one and add trend line. But also, if you see on my window, I'm saying display equation on chart and display R square value. Now let me close this and then make it bigger for you. Can you see this value here? Y is equal to?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So, what happens? You can also do this straight away. You will get your what is it? Slope value and market value. But I have made a mistake here because I've not taken the correct data X and Y. And therefore, you can see that this does not tally with what we actually calculated. Can you see? It does not tally with what we have done. So therefore, I will just delete this and I will delete this and I will take the, इसको भी delete करूं. 1 second. Cut. Okay. What should I take data? Please quickly tell me.
Point value and market salary.
X and Y. No?
Yes.
I took Y and pay line salary. Now what will I do?
X and Y.
Sorry, guys. Oh my God. 1 second. Why did it? Let me. Okay. Okay. And I just have to go to same formula. I think I will stop this. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. I'll make you all do and then give you this. If you notice, Vilma has sent you Excel sheet. Okay. I'll make you do that in a breakout activity. That will be better. You have this sheet with you. All right. All of you have this. So in the breakout activity, in the same room, now let me explain so that you can understand. I have already done the job evaluation for these positions, 14 positions. I've already calculated point value for them. I've already got your market salary per month. Take only this month. And now round it off 7, 3 and all. You can make it 0 also. I have no issue. Or use this salary per annum. Now what I want you all to do is calculate the salary, what I need to pay for these positions. Okay. Using the regression analysis. Done? You can take a picture of, you want to, I think she has sent you everything. Vilma? Vilma, is she there?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So quickly send them to breakout rooms, because unless and until they do that, and I will also help them to do it, regression, they will not be able to do. And we have very less time. Okay.
I opened the room. You can join.
Yeah. Yeah. Same groups, and they will have to work on this.
Hello?
Yeah. Is everybody back?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I think
Okay. 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 Now, yeah, tell me. So now you have actually not calculated the point value as a practice, but you have done the regression. Any challenges? So that, because the assignment will be given to you, any challenges to do the regression and calculate your pay line salary? Kishore, you have any?
I'm a bit confused on the pay line and the market salary as to. So let's say if it is if our R square is showing greater than 80%, so shall we consider the pay line or shall we consider market salary? Because market salary is at par.
Good sense. Okay, let me just share my data and come back to you. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm sure even the others have this question. You asked me. So here we have a point value which is called the independent variable. We have calculated based on the job, and we have here a Y data which is dependent variable. Which we bring from the market. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we use a regression and then calculate what is that I need to pay. When we use regression, what happens? When you are paying your salary only by market data, then you are taking into consideration job by job and paying market salary. If X job is being paid this much in the market, so because it is a very critical position, I will pay as per the market. So you will take your position, which is very critical, and say if they are paying so much, I'll pay 20% more. So that is totally independent. You are doing job by job then. Few positions. Maybe they're very, very critical for you. Maybe 5 positions or 3 positions. As the market keep fluctuating or whatever, you will look at market data only. Like, for example, Intel does that. So that is called market-based compensation. Here you are saying, I want to be equitable and competitive. So I'm doing both job evaluation and also I'm doing taking into consideration market data. So when you do a regression, what happens? It takes all the data of the market for all the jobs, and then it throws up what is that you need to pay in your organization. That's what regression does through the statistical analysis. So that there is what I said, how am I paying in relation to the other jobs? So every job here Like for example, here it is 25,000 only market salary. But because of regression and you want to keep internal equity, here it says you have to pay 26,000. Okay, it takes into consideration not just one job and one data. It takes into consideration all the jobs and all the market data, and then gives you what is that you need to pay. That is called the salary, pay line salary, what you need to pay. Got it?
Yeah.
Yes or no, everybody? Okay, so you will find that some places it will recommend lesser salary and some places it will recommend more salary. Got it?
Got
Okay.
it, ma'am.
Secondly, second question, responding to Yogesh's question. I will just do this. 1 second. I'll do this here. Okay. And I'm just doing insert and insert. Yeah. Okay. So here, if you notice, I have a slope value, I have the intercept value, and I also have something called regression, which is 99%.
9%.
99%. Okay. What does it mean? I'll just drag this here. 99%. What does that mean? It says that, hey, your data, market data is 99% dependent on a point value. 1% dependent on something.
Oh, okay.
R square can be only 1 or lesser than that. Say, for example, I'm saying R square, I'll change some number. Huh? How much has it come here?
31%.
That means the market data shows that 70% of, that is too much, risk. I mean, so your data, market data, there are other variables which are operating because there are jobs which are of maybe high point value, but not correlating with the market data. You have to check then why so. So your R square is 0.31. That means you have to again go back to the drawing board. Look at your market data first and then look at your point value also.
Ma'am, here we are checking for all the position at once, right? But because if you see HR team lead, technical manager for all others, so it is at at par, right? But you just change it for the technical chief. Because of that, it got reduced to 70%. So for other position, it is correct, but for only one position, because of one position, it got changed, and that's why the variances.
No. Say, for example, the job which 380 points, and you are saying you're paying just like that. I wrote it has to be 7,000, and the 7,000, which is saying, hey, either you have calculated the market data is wrong or the point value is wrong.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
In the next session, when I do market data, I'll tell you. So why I did not get into that. So when you are actually collecting market data, you also have to check whether there is a good match of this job description with that position which you are matching.
Okay.
So if you are not matching apple and apple, then I might get different data. So many times in organizations, so people who don't have the science of doing job matching, market salary, they will do, and then they will mismatch and they'll say, oh, I need to be paid more. Got it?
Yes.
So that is the thing here. Yep. So any other questions, guys? Then I don't want to rush. So I will tell you from this pay line, how do we create what I call it as pay bands, okay? Which I will explain to you all. next session, because I don't want to rush. You will find it difficult. And
Okay.
what is the general practice when we adopt a point plan? Then how do you create paybacks? And also then how do you also have benefits for that? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you will be given a homework. This is what you will be doing: point method and job description and assigning values, etc. So if you have any challenges, you can always text me and I will respond to you. Okay. It's
Sure,
very
ma'am.
important that you understand.
Sure, ma'am.
Got it?